Hello, good evening from here, and welcome to Cloud Training for Enthusiasts. I'm your pilot, Osatu Amen Patrick Aigbogun. So today is going to be another awesome time. I will always do it. Fun. So I'm going to be talking about cloud today. And last class, I did a pre-recorded session that talked more on WordPress. So after the WordPress was so successful and I got some messages that I should just do more of Cpanel so that they can have full control of their infrastructure. So today we are going to be talking about Cpanel, how to configure Cpanel on EC2. So it's simple. So it's going to be a very simple walk along. So I'm going to expect you to go with your system, log into your AWS console, and wait for me. We're not going to use Terraform today. We're going to go straight using console. So I want it to be so easy. And if you can do it through console, you be rest assured that you can do it through Terraform or other infrastructure as a code. So catch you up. So today we're going to be talking about Cpanel. What's Cpanel? Cpanel is just also like every other web hosting application. Is considered to be a platform as a service because when a Cpanel is being launched, you're not supposed to know anything about. These are the courses we've taken so far. But we're going to focus on this today. So a Cpanel is just normal platform as a service because the user of a Cpanel is not necessarily going to be aware of what is going on, what is behind the infrastructure that the Cpanel is being seated upon. But as an infrastructure engineer, our own responsibility is to make sure that the Cpanel is well secured and is accessible, and it's very, very easy for them to configure. Most web hosts, whenever you pay for subscription, what they do is to deploy an instance for you and configure a Cpanel, which they will send to your account. And from there, depending on your resources allocation, from there you can start doing your web design and your web hosting and everything. So today I'm going to show you the secret behind your website that you're paying for. The popular hosting company. So these are the process. What is Cpanel? Cpanel is a web hosting control panel software developed by Cpanel. It provides graphical interface and automation tool designed to simplify the process of hosting a website to a website owner or the end user. It enables administration through a standard web browser using a 3-tier structure. What's a 3-tier structure? A 3-tier structure means that an infrastructure that is reliable to stand. I'm going to be talking about 3-tier. 3-tier. We are talking about 3-tier. Talking about availability. Talking about high availability. Talking about data center. Talking about standard tier. 3-tier. Talking about the system must be available 99.99999 SLA. So we're talking about 3-tier sector. That's another course of its own. So we're not going to focus on that. So Cpanel is a platform as a service under category in terms of infrastructure in the like of WordPress and other CMS. CMS mean content management services, mostly used for microservices and especially web hosting, application design and hosting. Most popular web hoster sublet their servers using this platform. So these are the processes we're going to follow through. First of all, I want to design a Bastion host. Why am I using a Bastion host? Yes, I want the infrastructure to be secured. I want my Cpanel, because our example we are using now, we are putting both the database and everything. When you are configuring Cpanel, it's going to sync both the database and everything. Going to prepare it for you to use. You're going to configure it and prepare it for you. So since it's going to entail using a database, and so it's going to entail I'm going to act as if by giving it to a company that wants to put the infrastructure there. We want it to be secure. So I'm using a Bastion because I want the infrastructure to be in a private subnet, but we're going to use a public subnet to connect to it and configure it. And then we're going to put it on the load balancer. So I'm going to use two VPC, one on public, one on private. Then the Cpanel is going to be in our private subnet. Then for security sake, we're going to configure the security structure so that will be easy for all the database and everything to communicate together. I'm going to show you the security group, the port to enable and the port not to enable. Then we're going to put it on top of a load balancer. So the load balancer is still going to have the same security group, you understand, so that it can be easy for it to connect. So we're going to put it on the security group. Then we're also going to use the macro instances and 200 GB memory, because since database is going to be inside, so it should be able to accommodate the database and data that are coming, so I have enough throughput. Then we're going to use CentOS, because basically for now, Cpanel has some restrictions, so it's not all AMI, Amazon Machine Image that you support. For now, it supports Ubuntu, it supports CentOS, it supports Red Hat, and on other images, but we're going to use CentOS for our practice today. Then I want to set up a DNS and IP mapping, but we may not do that because it's simple. Immediately your infrastructure is up and your load balancer is up, then it's easy for you to do that yourself. So that when you are paying for a domain name, you pay for a domain name automatically, it mapped himself. So it's that domain name you paid for that we used to map your infrastructure for you. So whenever you pay for a domain name, they take your domain name and then map your infrastructure for you. So you log in through your domain name /cpanel. So I know most of us are used to it. So after having said that, let's go to action. Then for the purpose of professionalism, I'm going to use a Cloudcraft. Cloudcraft enable us to design our infrastructure like just normal architectural work, you know. You design your map so that in case somebody wants to troubleshoot and want to know what you've done with your Cloudcraft, you can see the architecture and know what you did. And you have to be easy for him to inherit the structure and also make changes if necessary. Then these are the things we're going to do today. So it's going to be very fun. It'll be fun. So Satomi Patrick is here. So I think we should go straight to our first. Let's design our infrastructure using this. Then let's design our infrastructure using this. So catch it. Okay, I go to cloudcraft.co.co. Then you just go to any browser. Just go and just write cloudcraft.co. I like using this site to design my architecture. You know, if you know what you want to do, you see, you just click sign up. This is free ads for Cloudcraft. But don't worry, you're going to enjoy it. So, like this is a template that I set for me. This is like a simple template. So I may decide to modify this template, or I may decide to just create a fresh one. I think, let me just quickly, I think I should modify this. I'm not going to use all these instances, they are too much. But in a production environment, you know, well, this is like using Cpanel. So these instances are too much. So I'm going to come back after I finish designing. Okay, for the sake of our lab, this is the simple architecture we are using. So you can see from this architecture, you see, I'm going to allow access to our network using Elastic Load Balancer. You can see this is where we are going to put our private subnet. This is where we are going to put our infrastructure, our Cpanel. We're going to have a NAT gateway. With this NAT gateway, we'll be able to, this BASTION host, this is our BASTION host, you're going to have access to our application, our private subnet. So you can see this system has this BASTION host. We have in an internet gateway to attach to it. So the VPC automatically in this total subnet, everything, the VPC here is going to have this internet gateway. So this internet gateway we'll be able to SSH into this our instance. From this instance, we SSH into this instance. Then from this instance, we configure it to have this memory and the database already attached to it. But we're not going to have an external database. This is an arbitrary. So the database automatically is inside the instance. So for practical, just for practice sake. So this is what we are going to do. So the Route 53, which talking about DNS, is optional. So this is our main infrastructure today. So I think with this, we're said and done. It's easy to do. Just drag and drop. You can come to compute here. If you touch EC2, yeah, this is how I design it. If you touch it to EC2, come here. You can label it, So that is how. So you can come here and learn how to design a complex. You can even use it for complex infrastructure. The interesting thing is that after finish designing, you can also bring out the Terraform version of it. So if this infrastructure being said and done, now let's go to our work. So this is the 2D version of what we just did now. So I've been exported it to 2D version. So having said this, let's go straight and launch our Bastion host. Okay, the first thing we do when doing first, we know the networking is the first point of call. So you need to design how people can access your resources. So that's why networking is the first, which is we're talking about VPC in AWS. So I want to launch our Bastion. For now, I want us to use a wizard so that can be easy for us. So there are better ways. So I want to launch a public and a private subnet. This will enable Bastion host for us. So the private, so this looks similar to the infrastructure we are planning to do. So we can use this 10 dots. So let's call this Cpanel. Then the availability zone for the private subnet. Let's call this our public private subnet. The availability zone for the private subnet. Let's make this to be. Then the NAT gateway. Do we have a NAT gateway? We can. It's an endpoint. It's basically if you have, if we have our database, we can attach it to it, but or other than endpoint. So let's create. We're going to use default enable DNS hostname. Then the NAT gateway. There's no NAT gateway currently, so we're going to launch our NAT gateway. Let's go and create a NAT gateway. So when we create a NAT gateway, automatically you already know that NAT gateway is supposed to come with this private subnet with this same VPC network so that it can be accessible. So it will not create because there's no NAT gateway. So let's create a NAT gateway. I'll be back. I guess we should just create it from afresh. Since we're still going to come back to that, let's just, since we are still using it, we are still going to create our NAT gateway and attach to it. So I just feel we should just create it from scratch. So we shouldn't waste the time. So let's follow through. So this is I already created internet a VPC with this other block. So we're going to create an internet gateway so that we can have a public and a private subnet to it. So create an internet gateway and call it Cpanel. Cpanel. Okay. And we're going to attach the Cpanel internet gateway to that VPC we created. This VPC we created now, we attach it. So now we have an internet, we have a gateway. So let's create a subnet. Create a subnet for that VPC. The Cpanel VPC. We'll create a subnet. Let's call it Cpanel 1. Availability zone. Let's use availability to 2A. We wanted to use just now. And the CIDR block, let's use the same CIDR block family. 1/24, see within the IPv4s. I say Cpanel 1 SPN. So we can call this, let's make this one private, public. We'll create another subnet. Let's make this private, the same. Cpanel 2 private. We've not yet made it that private or public. We're just planning to use it as private. So use this same CIDR block family. So it's CIDR block family. Okay. Now we've created the subnet. Now let's make this subnet. Let's make it private. Let's make the first one public. Let's make this subnet. So we have two subnets here. Let's make this public. How do you make it public? By going to the route table and attaching the gateway. Go to the route table. This is the route table. I'm going to attach the internet gateway to the route table. That's the route. And let's edit route. Let's add let's add internet gateway. When you have an internet gateway created, attach this to this. And we'll create a NAT gateway from the private gateway. This one has no NAT gateway now. The same VPC. Let's call it Cpanel NAT. And this is for private. We wish to create a NAT gateway from. So if we use this, we're supposed to use this one because this is where the internet gateway is. But you allocate like this, you're going to have, that's good. And NAT gateway is already created. We want to communicate to the public. So now we have the NAT gateway. We have the internet gateway. So we now have our private and public subnets. So we have our private and a public subnet. It's a private subnet, it's a public subnet. So we can now go and launch our instance. So with this, we have set up this infrastructure. We have set up this infrastructure, this private subnet, public subnet. Now we have created this NAT gateway. We've connected this NAT gateway to this. So we've created our internet gateway to it. So now let's create our two instances. We'll go to our, okay. Let's go straight here. Go to our services, EC2. I remember when I was introducing this class, I said Cpanel is not allowed for, there are some instances that Cpanel support. So we're going to use, let's create an instance. I'm going to launch an instance. Let's launch our private instance first, since it's going to be a Bastion host. So it's not compulsory. We use, let's use a small instance. Let's use a T2 micro for it. So it's going to be in our private subnet. VPC going to be a Cpanel VPC, and the subnet is going to be in our private public subnet because they're Bastion host. Then the subnet use enable subnet settings. Okay, then let's protect it against accidental stuff. I think for now, this is what we're going to do. And that's a Bastion host. Then this is a Bastion host. It's not compulsory. We give it more. Let's tag this Bastion host. Okay, name. And then yes. Okay, our security group. Well, a security group of this, since we are just going to be SSH into it, let's not make it complex. Let's give it, let's give it a port 80. Let's enable, port 80 is okay. All we just need to do is just to put SSH. Okay, cool. Just a simple Bastion host. Let's use a key pair. Let's create a new key pair for this. Okay, since I'm going to be using Porty and Pagent, so it would be better if I use RSA key pair, simple key pair for sort of PEM. Let me call it Cpanel. Download key pair, then launch instance. I'm going to use the same key pair for both. So as that one is going through, let's create our public subnet, our main instance. So this is where you have to know, because the AMI that it supports, the AMI that Cpanel supports is CentOS. So it's basically going to be from the marketplace. So if you go to marketplace and you type CentOS, I think it should be around here. And just type CentOS. Okay, we're using this. Let's use this one. It's free tier enabled. Free tier enabled. Okay. Let's see if this can go by using this. Now it's telling you that these are the things it's going to. So I'm using this CentOS for it. And I'm using tier because our instance is going to be there and we are looping that. Probably our database is going to be inside, so it will not be dragging. Let's use medium, but it depends on what you want to do. But we're using medium for this. Then let's use instances. Let's create just one VPC, the same Cpanel VPC. It's going to be in our private subnet. Then use VPC, use the settings, then protect. Okay. Then we're going to add memory. Let's add like 50 gig SSD. I can use okay, GP2. Let's use SSD GP2. Then let's call this name. Let's target Cpanel. Okay. Okay. Now the security group for this, don't forget, most of the security group is going to be in our want to enable so many security groups. So let's coming to security group. I want to enable so many security groups, but I'm going to attach the security group that you're supposed to enable. We enable UDP. Let's enable normal UDP. Then let's enable port 80, then enable port 443, Then let's enable these ports, custom ports from 20 to 21 ports from anywhere. For the database, I think let's enable 3330 to 3305. Let's enable 330 to 3305. Okay, let's use this. Then let's enable. Let's recommend you have a playbook whenever you want to do anything. But you have to have a playbook. So I have my own playbook that I copy from. So it's mostly on like a notepad. These are the port I'm enabling. I'm enabling this port, TCP, this range, enabling that. Then basically this port is going to be this security group I'm enabling is also going to be used for my load balancer. So I'm going to create it. So I've created all this security group. Then I'm going to name the security group, not CentOS. I'll name it Cpanel and say Cpanel SG. Okay. Now using that same RSA key pair. Okay. Now the security group is set. Then to make it easy, you can just say enable or TCP or UDP. But for secure work, you have to enable the particular security group. Fine, we know that this security group will not be accessed from the internet. So we're going to copy all our access from the internet. So meaning the load balancer that we are going to do, the load balancer is going to have allow all load balancer, allow all network, so that it can communicate to the internet and you can communicate to it. So that is just, that's what we're hoping to do. So I'll come back when my instances are up. My first instance is up, so I'm naming the second one. So panel, Cpanel. Okay, now this is my Bastion host. So I need to launch into my Bastion host. Public IP. for so the first Bastion host we created, we did not enable it to have a public IP address, so I have to create another one because we want to log in, or the aim of a Bastion host is that we'll be able to log into it, and from there we can connect to our private instances and configure it. So as illustrated here, so this is a private, this is a public instance that has internet gateway. This is a private instance that have a NAT gateway. So with the help of the NAT gateway, you can be able to connect to the internet and update from here. So we are using this internet gateway for our instance. So this is what we did. So the one we did before was not able to connect here because we didn't attach, we attached, we didn't enable it to have a public IP. So that's why I have to create another one and enable it to have a public IP. So now we have our two instances running. Let's start our configuration. Another thing I left out in our plan is I left the aspect of the tools we are going to use. I want to use a POTI and POTI agent, POTI agent, also known as Pagent. We can get that by going to a web browser and just put POTI.com. I think POTI.com or POTI.org, POTI.org or POTI.com. Either way, POTI.org. You can just download if you're using a Mac system. Download for Mac or download for Windows. For me, I'm using a Windows system, so I'm using POTI for Windows. So you can also just come to POTIGen. This POTIGen is mostly basically for, so you can either come to any or either of them, but download POTI for Windows, download, so you can still have everything you need to do. So I already have it installed in my system. So that's what we are going to use. So now let's go straight to our configuration. So from our instance so far, we have designed this. Let's go to the 3D. I like the 3D aspect. Okay, now we've designed our infrastructure. We've not done the load balancer. We're going to do the load balancer. But now our instances are up. So let's do this. Then after configuration of this, then we can now do our load balancer, then and try and enter it. So when we are installing this Cpanel, it automatically comes with database MySQL, and I think MariaDB also comes with it. So let's go to our workbench and let's start POTI. Using EC2 user at the public IP address. This other address. Okay, this is the Bastion host we're using. Public IP address. We paste it and go to SSH authentication and use the one we just did now. It's in download. Okay. So obviously our arrow SA is still in PEM5, so we're going to convert it to PPK. And so I'll be back when I'm done converting to PPK. can convert your key pair using the popular key pair converter called PortGen. So this PortGen help you to convert PEM to PPK. So it's already in PEM. So I'm downloading. So I'm saving it now. Yes, saving as PPK. I call it Cpanel. Okay. I'm going to save the public key. Not really necessary, but let me just save it for saving sake. Cpan. Okay, now I've saved it. We have our Cpanel for our private for our key pair. So we can now use our party now. And I always recommend you're not downloading just party, you're downloading 3 things: PortGen, PageAgent, PortAgent, also known as PageAgent, and PortGen. This PageAgent, the work it does that you see, it helps you to save a copy of your instance, a copy of your key into the system SSH. So you can use it to also link other system if you enable it. So the key PageAgent, I've used PageAgent to save a copy of it here so that I can use it as an agent. So if you are configuring, you come here, you enable your key pair, then you're going to allow agent forwarding. So that's it. So should be able to log into your instance, which we have successfully. Now, this is not our goal. This particular instance is just to enable us, work, log into our instance. So our aim is not here. This is our public IP. Our aim is to log in to this our private, to log into this our private instance. So because this BASTION is inside the network, because it's inside the network, we are logging in from the public to it. Because inside the network, should be able to access this private instance because both of them are in the same VPC. So if I copy this this username, this IP address, I should be able to log in successfully into it. So I'll just say SSH. I think SSH into EC2 user at should be able to SSH into that. I say yes. Beautiful. You can see I've successfully logged in to 10.0.2.34. So that is the goal. Because it's in private subnet, it's easy for me to log into it. So I'm now in the secure instance. So because the instance is still, it has a NAT gateway attached to it, it should be able to connect to the internet. So if I say update, yes, should be able to connect, should be able to need the root. Okay, sudo update. Okay, loading a package marked for update. So mini is successfully updated. Remember, we installed the updated one. So if I say, okay, now I think it's time for us to install our instance. Okay, let me just try and ping the internet to see google.com to see if it's connected to the internet. You can see it's responding. meaning it can talk to the internet, meaning it can access the internet. That is all we just need. So I'm canceling it, Control C, then clear. So now we can now start configuring our cPanel. Very interesting. Okay, now let's configure our cPanel. There are some little instructions you follow through in configuring our cPanel. I have it sorted out. So I think we're going to install pair. We're going to install pair just to be sure. Okay, root user. Let's just go to sudo. So let's just start making use of it. Let's install pair. Then nothing to do. So pair is already installed. Okay, let's install wget so that we can use wget instead of using by using install wget that we able to say it's already installed. So now we cannot pull that package. Normally you are supposed to encrypt this server side. So we're not doing that particular one. It's already in private subnet, so it's mostly secure, but you're supposed to also stay encrypted. So let's follow through our processes. Okay. So I'm telling the system to go and get this application and install. This is the source code for the cPanel. So it's already installing. Please, Amazon new installation system detected as aborted. Wow. So you see, we did not only support 7.8, and it was 8.7 we used. What happened? So you see, the challenge we face now is that it's still saying that the OS we installed is not compatible with the system we're using. So not to worry. What we'll do is just to create another EC2, the same network, but we just need to pull this CentOS 8 and 9. So to be safe, let's put CentOS 8. The CentOS 7 we install is not still compatible. Okay, since this instance was, you see, when we notice that the instance AMI, so AMI plays a very important role. AMI is like an operating system, so not every application is compatible with it. So it's just telling me that cPanel is not compatible with the first AMI we did, though it's still CentOS, but the version is 2.13. So what we did is to create another instance with a higher version of this recommended one. The recommended 8.7 and 8 only. Say cPanel and W only support 7.8, and Red Hat and Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6 and 7. These are the instance. These are the AMI and Ubuntu 2000. So we went back to create this CentOS, and we created it. Let's see if it works. So we have to log out from this exit. So I've exited from the first instance. Okay, I'm not yet out. I'm still in the same instance. So we're going to re-enter our instance. Okay, to log into your CentOS, the login details is not normal EC2. You're using CentOS dot at the, always come here whenever you want to log to an instance. If you are finding some challenges, this is another troubleshooting, this is another way of troubleshooting, because sometimes your configuration may be okay, but maybe the username you are using to connect is different. So if you come to connect, you see the explanation here. We are not connecting from the public IP, so we are connecting from the BASTION host. So you just put SSH, since this key has already been forwarded into the BASTION host, you just put sent at this. I think that was the challenge we have in the first one. Maybe we didn't take note that we did not log into the CentOS. So, well, let's pass through the processes again. Let's install update. I know it's already updated. It's already updated. Please, I think under a root user sudo or sudo forward s, then you just put yum update. Yes, finish the ping to fin PID to finish. Okay, let's just install, and I think with this we'll be almost done. So you see it's updating the CentOS. Then what we'll do from here, we'll install our Perl. I can just copy everything together. For me, I don't have patience. This is my playbook. So then this is the direct. Okay, let me tell you what's going on here. What I'm telling the system here, this is the internet. This is the official website for secure download for Cpanel.net. So this is so I'm telling the system at the home directory, yes, that we should go and pull out this file and install. But we can decide to also go to the home directory, cd home directory, then without putting this, and you just put wget this, it will install everything, then it will download everything, and it will, after downloading, it will now run this application. The application is in latest, because I'm saying at home, go to home, from home, call this application, download it. When it's downloaded, also run sh latest, because sh latest means run this application. So it's going to go to home directory, pull out this file, then in this file, the same way, and launch this. The challenge of this kind of code is that when one fail, the whole system fail. So I'm very sure it's not going to fail, because it's already a work on something that we already have been using. So it's going to take some time for it to update. So let me just pause and come back when the system is fully updated. So we are updating our CentOS8. Please, there are some things you must be very careful with, which is naming your VPC and your subnet, naming your subnet especially. You should be able to separate your private subnet and your public subnet. Must separate your private subnet and your public subnet. Configure your private subnet very well. First of all, you have to configure your public subnet by attaching internet gateway to the route table, which we did. Then you now configure your private subnet, attaching a NAT gateway that you created using the public subnet. Attach the NAT gateway to the private subnet, so that through that, the private subnet can update, can connect to the internet. You can see we're in our CentOS now. The CentOS is going to the internet and updating, but you cannot directly connect to the CentOS instance. So that is just the logic. If you can take note of that and you are very careful with that, I believe every other thing is done. So the major work, that's just the major work. So we are updating now. And the next thing, after updating, then we'll run that code we ran before. which is this. Control C. First of all, let's make sure that it has Perl, and we're going to take some time to just run updates.